looks like. Okay, so you're gonna find the center of your paper, and I would use a ruler, I'm just doing this because I don't have one long enough. And I'm going from my perforated edge, okay? I'm not counting that as part of my project, all right? Now, do I go this way? No, okay. I'm just making sure because now there's, since it's videoing, now it's doing less space. Trying to find corner to corner. Then I'm gonna draw an X, okay? Then I'm gonna go corner to corner again, and then finish my X. That way I kind of have a bullseye, and that'll give me where the center of my paper is at. I hate that. I want to go that direction, but it won't allow me. Whatever. I can't show you that way because you guys will be confused. So I'll have to do it the small way. It's fine. So now we're going to make a box. From that box, you're going to go about 3 inches. Okay, so 3 inches up, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to make a mark, and then 3 inches the opposite way, 10. Okay, and now I'm going to draw a vertical line. To make sure your vertical lines are straight, or a horizontal line, you can put it right on the edge, make sure it's flush with your paper, and then go straight across, and I'm only doing this top, and then of course, then on my bottom. I mean, if it's slightly off, that's okay. I'm not gonna be too critical on that, all right? But just do the absolutely best you can. Where you're gonna find more problem is matching here to here, especially if it is not perfectly square, okay? And mine probably won't because I didn't get corner to corner, but I'll show you how to tweak it to where it looks fairly close. So I'm trying to match up this dot with that dot, and what I'm looking at is on this side. Obviously, if it looks like that, it is not absolutely straight, but from right here to here, I can see where this comes over, matching up my lines. There we go. And then do the same on your other side. Now you have your box. Now my paper is a little bit, maybe just a little bit smaller. This will just give you a little bit more space to work with here. And I'm thinking, did I say 3 inches on this square? Because I have on this square, if you notice, this one is pretty small that I did. This one's about 1.5 inches. So if you want to go 3, or if you want to go at least 2 inches, I think 2 inches will be good enough. So let's do 2 inches on that square, okay? 2-inch square, all right, on that part. Because you can see we have a little less space down here, and I want a little bit more space down in this area. Because this is the space that you will use the least amount, okay? But it'll, now what you're going to be doing, so I'm going to change this real quick. And I'm going to draw a smaller box, and I'm just going to draw a box because I don't want it that big. So I'm going to do something like this. There we go. And that'll give me a little more space to show you extra stuff. All right, so there's my perfect box. Okay. So from there, we're going to do the ceiling. The ceiling in the middle here, this is where your vanishing point is. This is where all of your lines are going to meet at. So I'm not counting the lines. You're making like tiles, like what the ceiling is over there. So you just need to think that this ruler is going to rotate on pivot right on that axis there, okay? So from there, I'm just going to draw some lines. And I would draw everything very lightly because I guarantee some of you might be doing a lot of erasing. So try to draw lightly. And those will just kind of pivot and go off the page, all right? So all off the page. In this area, to save you cleanup time, how I have drawn lines in here, try to skip by not drawing lines inside of this box, because you can imagine how many lines are going to be in there, right? So you don't want to continuously have to erase. So that'll save you some time. So when you're drawing your line, skip the box and then start outside of the box, okay? Now we're going to put in some horizontal lines. And to give it a little depth, we're going to go smaller, and then we're going to increase the size just by sight, okay, not by measuring, as I go up to give it a little sense of illusion. There we go. So now you have your tile ceiling. In that tile ceiling, what you will be doing, now you need lights. So you can see how you can design your ceiling, changing colors to make the ceiling more visible with like colored pencil. Now we're going to establish some lights. The perspective on the lights is already done for you. So if you do a long light, so this area, I'm going to erase, let's see, I'll put a light right here. So I'm going to take out that box, and I'm going to put like a little square edge, rectangular edge here. This is the edge of the box. And then here's the front of the box, and then I'm going to put cross-hatching inside to show the texture of the light. And that's a place where you can put like some yellows, things like that in there, all right? Then I might do one on the other side just to balance it out, to make it look like a light source, okay? So that'll be your ceiling. That's usually pretty easy. The floor is gonna be somewhat similar to that. So if we're gonna do like a wood grain floor on there, all right? So we're trying to do as much variety as possible. Now, some of these galleries might not have all this stuff in there. We're just doing it because that'll show you how to do it. We're going to put in what they call a clear story window, and that is just a window that shows a light source at the very top. So again, we start at vanishing point. I'm going to go close to the edge of my ceiling line. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to draw it right off the page. And how wide do you want your window to be? Obviously not very much, because this is all going to be paintings on the wall. So I'm going to put another line in. Okay, that'll establish my side of my windows. And then now I can break it up. So now you're going to put in vertical lines. So I'm going to put one in here. Maybe there is a gap. So it's like you see the wall there. I'll put another window with a gap. And how you do your windows is all up to you. It could be one solid window, or it could be multiples. And I'm going to finish right here, okay? I don't want your window to end, though, at the corner of the wall, because that doesn't happen, all right? So my window ends right here. So these are windows. I'm just putting some cross-hatching in there so you know where the windows are at. And inside of those, well, then you can add color, like if you can see outside. And I'm just erasing those lines on the bottom and on the top, just to show you now you have individual windows, okay? On the sides, and you can put some windows, then what I do on one side, you would do pretty much on the other side, okay? So on this side now, we have to do some paintings. So paintings come in all different sizes and lengths and so forth. So you need at least 6, I'm gonna put 6 paintings, okay? In there, we need at least 2 light sources, for sure, all right? So we have lights and paintings, and I have that just kind of written on there. So, right in that area. So for a painting, you kind of have to imagine, where do you want one? So you can kind of organize. I said 6, so 3 on 3. So maybe you're going to do one like horizontally. I'm going to do like a vertical one, and then maybe a smaller one in there. So I kind of have it organized. Now I have to decide how big the painting is going to be. So I'm going to do the tops of my painting and the bottom of this painting. So I'm doing top and bottom first. Okay, so I have my 2 lines in there. Now I decide how long I want it to be. So I'm going to put a vertical line in this way. There's my side. And it's going to be about this long, right there. Now I get rid of what I do not need. So now I have a painting there. Now with these paintings, you can do framing around them. The extra details is what's going to give you extra bonus points, like you can put frames around them, okay, things like that. The paintings need to be famous paintings inside, okay? Famous paintings inside of them that you need to do. So pick out some famous paintings and put them in there. So this one, I'm going more, leaving a little gap. So my top is going to be a little less, and then I'm doing 2 here. So there's the tops of the 2 paintings, and how long are they going to be? I don't want them to go to the floor. So I'm going to put one here and one there. So now you can see how the lines are getting a little more dramatic, and then you close the lines for your sides. I'm going to put one there, then I'll put one right here. And I'm going to start not using my ruler as much, but you will. And now I have my 3 paintings right in this area. So paintings are done, and then you would have 3 on the other side, okay? In the middle here, you can do like Sometimes you need doors to get things in. You can be creative. You could have one huge painting in the middle if you wanted to. All right, this whole wall could be a painting. It can have windows in it. You could do like a garage door so you can get big sculptures and things inside of your gallery. So you always need some types of options like that. So in that area. And this is the easiest area. Anything inside of this box, well, you would just draw it vertical and horizontally, like if that was a window or whatever, because there's no perspective to that. It's just flat. So when you get into the bottom, this is where it's a little more challenging for like furniture. So we need a bench. So we need 2 benches, okay? 2 benches. And we need some tables, at least 1 table. Okay? So when we do the benches, the key to the benches to sit on, this is the key. So here is the floor, which is right there. We need, how tall do we want this bench to be? So I'm going to start with, there's going to be 3 lines going from the vanishing point. So how tall? So I'm going to put in one this way. And then the next line, I'm putting it slightly above that point, because if I put it down here, it's look like the seat is down on the floor more, okay? And you'll see why also, because then your legs don't have to be super long to reach. So keep it close to your floor line. So I'm putting a line in there. So I have my 2 lines. Now I need the end of it. How long do I want it? So you're doing like this chair. You're doing the top, the middle, and the bottom. Okay, so you can sit. Now you'll be able to see it a little easier when I do these lines, my vertical lines. So I'm going to put a chair in right here. I'm going to put a vertical line in. If you can think of L's, I'm going to start to see it. I'm going to put another one right here. All right, so now I'm going to erase my floor line. And then the rest of these lines here would disappear. Now you can almost see how you could sit in your chair. Now we need legs. Legs, just to make sure they are on the floor. Okay, here's your floor line. These 2 are the same length. This one should be shorter because it is further away. So if I did a vanishing point from there, okay, from this one, that kind of shows you how long. But I think you can eyeball that without drawing vanishing point lines. You just need to know that it's shorter than this one. This one on the other side I probably would not see because of the chair itself. So now we can sit. Make sure it can withstand different thickness. Do your leg thicknesses and things like that. So it looks like it can hold somebody and not just sticks, okay? All of that. So now you have your chair in there. And you can do a couple of those. You can have armrests. So if I put an armrest, it's just making a box. That's very simple. Okay? So you have your armrest in there. We can put, like, if you want to get it 3-dimensional, you think of rectangles. See, I can see the side and I can see the top. Okay? But if you were to beef it up, you wouldn't be able to tell anyway. So you can just thicken it if you want to. If you want to have like an armrest, that you wouldn't really have to worry about. There you go. All right, so now you can put your arms on that and so forth. All right, now a table. Sometimes they have tables in there to put stuff on. Tables can go anywhere. If you want it beside, if you want it out in the middle, you can. So if you're doing that in the middle, take your vanishing point. We'll just do like a small table. Here's the side of the table. Think about how wide you want your table to be. Right there. And then I'm going to close the back. I'm going to close the front. I'm just going to make a small one right here. There we go. That's the top. Now on this one, you're only going to see a couple legs. So you'll have a leg here and a leg there. And you can obviously then beef it up. All right? And then this is where to put things at. You can have, papers, books, things like that if you wanted to on there. Pencils, erasers. You can draw a painting on here if you want to, okay? Like it's a marker board or something, or a chalkboard of some sort. So then I would put one more piece of furniture on this side, okay, on that side, and you have your paintings over here. The last thing, couple of last things you have to add is a sculpture box, okay? A sculpture box. So sculpture boxes, since you're gonna have some more furniture on this side, okay? Say there's another chair right there. Sculpture box is best to put like maybe right up here in this big area that you really have nothing at. So with that, you're just going to draw yourself a box. And make sure the side of the box, you don't have to meet at your vanishing point because this is frontal view right here. I'm just making sure that the box is on the floor instead of matching up with this line. Now you close your top and you close your bottom. Now to make the top of it, it goes to the vanishing point. You can see I already kind of have those already made right there. And then I close it right there and then erase these extra lines. Okay. There's the top of my box so I can actually sit something on. So if I was to move the box over here, for example, I have 1, 2, 3 sides. One side, 2 sides, and this one down here. So now I close the box, but you see how this one, when you close it, it is not on the floor, is it? So that means we have to move the box to make sure the bottom is on the floor. So maybe we make the box deeper, so when I close it, and then I bring this line in closer to where it is actually on the floor. So for example, I'll make a long one. Here's a box, and then let's do the sides already. So if I did a side like that, here's my side, and here's my top. Now, instead of moving my vertical line out here, it's not on the floor, but if I put it a little bit closer, now it is on the floor, and then you're going to have a smaller top on there, okay? So think about where you locate it, and then you're going to build some type of sculpture or sculptures that sit on that, okay? That you will do. And then you have one person to add, okay? The person can be standing, can be sitting. So if he's sitting in this is the easy place to put one, or it could be standing over here looking at something. Think of a person just like you did your chair. So here's your back, your thigh, and then your leg coming down, as you can see. Think about the width of your person. It's just like you're building another chair. The split in your leg. Here's a shoe, okay? This one's a little longer because it's closer to you, okay? Your shoe. Here's your waist, your shoulders, your neck, and then your head. It'll be more of a profile, which is your side view because you're sitting sideways, so imagine like hair here. Arms, well, they can be coming across and like touching your leg, and there's like a palm. This one, your arm could either be stretched over the top, okay, and then kind of hanging down if you want it to, like you're chilling, all right? Or if you put it closer, it could be on the handrail. So that's an easy place to put your person because it has your shaping already there for you, okay? Then we have floor, and that is super simple. So with the floor, you're going to use your vanishing point. We're doing a wooden floor, so some places are just going to have planks, and you have wooden floor are not perfect. The lines are kind of scattered and not in perfect formation. So you might have lines like that. So you can also kind of do this as long as you imagine it pivoting on that axis again. So I'm going from my vanishing point, putting some lines in. I'm just making sure, see how they have an angle on them? So they are not straight, all right? So you get that angle, that perspective. When you add color, you can put like browns and creams and different types of wood grain in your door, all right? So you have a lot of work, and then it is all colored with colored pencils, okay? So when you're coloring with colored pencils, if this is the front and it's one value, make your side a different value so it shows three-dimensionalism in it on your that. Paintings, famous paintings, one person, 2 benches, one on each side, 1 table only, 1 sculpture box, okay? But you need to make sure you fill up your space. So if you have a lot of empty space, I would come back and make sure you add something. but make sure your coloring is on top, okay? I mean, like, stay in the lines because your coloring can make this look sloppy also. Detailing. If you have a picture in here and you're not putting a frame around it, maybe do a dark colored frame, okay? Like this one has red, that one has there. I have a painting in there. Here's my sculpture box. Looks like there's a piece of drapery over it, a cloth. I have extra things in there, like some lights hanging from a source, okay? I made the floorboards a little bit thicker down here to show the difference between the floor and the ceiling, those types of things in there. I added a long chair, and an inside of here is like a Japanese, like sand garden with different types of lines in there. Extra chairs I just added just to show you some variety of things. So this I'll have up here. And even on the back, I have some like little cheat notes on there for you. If you can see like from the benches and things like that, which are usually give people problems. The key to your bench is if you do a bench like this and say your side goes down like this, and here's your legs. Now your bench looks like it's opening up, right? It's like you're gonna fall out of it. It doesn't support you. It's because your lines are not completely horizontal and you can't sit in it right way. It's kind of like being in a recliner where it goes down, okay? So that's where most people mess up on their benches, all right, in that area. This will be due next, let's see, you switch on Wednesday, so it'll be due on Tuesday. Some of you are in good shape. You can work it on in here. If you have questions, easy to help. Some of you are finishing up watercolor, so it might become a little bit of homework, okay? So you can do an excellent job, all right? So take your time. It's your final grade. You want to do really well on your piece, all right? Okay, and that's your 1-point perspective piece.